Protect our community, especially those who place themselves in harm's way to serve and protect us. May peace reign in the hearts of all, and may you bless our great nation. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, we move on to approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve the September 1st, 2020 virtual regular board meeting minutes.
So moved. Fritz Weiss.
Second, Whitmore.
Okay, motion second. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Julie.
Target,
Aye.
Levin.
Aye.
Marabella,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. All right, we move on to mayor's report. I need a motion to approve the appointment resolution appointing Alyssa Payson and Ashley Jensen as Recreation Advisory Board members.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, the discussion, these two individuals were non-voting and they're being moved into the voting status of, on the rec board. So I talked to Scott about them and they're pretty much very looking forward to moving to that position. And he recommended them. So we're moving to approve them this evening. So anybody have any other discussion on them, on that item? Okay, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin,
Levin?
Aye.
Okay,
Marabella.
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
motion carried. We move on to village administrators report. Greg Jackson.
The first item under the agenda, Mr. Mayor and members of the board, is the approval of the intergovernmental agreement between SWALCO, the Solid Waste Agency, Lake County, and the Village of Winthrop Harbor. This will expand our recycling to clothing and textiles as well as shoes, which as part of the circular economy program, which is taking off nationwide, this will allow us to take waste and give it to a source that will reuse it, use it in various ways so that it's recycled and put back into good use. On top of that, we will receive on an ongoing basis revenues from this program. So this is a revenue generating program with no cost to the village and with a 30-day out clause. They being SWALCO or their contractor will take care of the pickups. They take care of everything. We make sure we market it out there to our constituents. We can do that in the newsletter and other methods. And we end up receiving revenue off of it. I presented the intergovernmental agreement to the village attorney who reviewed it, found that the language was similar to that he has dealt with in other communities, found no problems with that. And so I'm requesting that we move this program forward. Again, this will allow us to generate some revenue. And we talked about potentially using this revenue to support a community garden, which is an initiative I want to bring to the board in the near future.
So I need a motion and a second, correct?
Yes, sir.
I need a motion?
Motion.
Moved. Fritz Weiss.
Okay, second?
Second.
Second by trustee Hargit. Any discussion on that? To Greg.
Yeah, Greg, where would the collection site be located?
It's going to be in Public Works, the same place that the electronics is. And I've worked with Tim already, and he's making space readily available right as soon as you enter off to the left. Off to the south, I guess I should say.
All goes well. Where are you looking to put the community garden?
I heard community garden, that's what I heard.
Yeah, if all goes well, where are you looking to put the community garden?
Sustainability Committee has identified a couple locations. One of them I've pretty much told them it will not work, and it's right that space next to the bridge on Sheridan Road off of 8th. The traffic's too heavy over there. Plus, I know that in conversations with Trustee Hargit and Pat DePercio that has a potential economic development value in that area. So they have started discussions with North Point Church. Tom King over there have walked some space and got a pretty good idea of where they could put it. And in turn, items that would be grown there would be used to help further the food pantry that's over at North Point Church. But nothing's definitive yet. They're still wrapping up the proposal. I asked them for a formal budget on it to see what the impact would be, if any, to the village. So that's the stage we're at now.
Greg, are they just looking at one site for the community garden?
One site to start. They want to make sure it takes off. Their bigger concern more than anything else is that people who make a commitment to tend that garden and work in that garden are staying committed, rather than to start it and then walk away from it. And then if you have multiple locations, that could end up being a hardship.
All right. All I ask, Greg, turn off those crickets.
Give that cat some attention.
All right, I need a roll call. Julie?
Hargit,
Aye.
Levin. I can't,
Levin?
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella, you got your volume off. There
Volume.
you go. Thank you. McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Few more items, Mr. Mayor, off the administrator's report, some of them dealing with funding. We received contact from the Lake County Municipal League, as well as the Lake County Finance Office, that the U.S. Treasury has changed the terms on CARES funding and how it can be used. And it's been brought to our attention that we have an opportunity to recoup some payroll expense from public safety. We're capped at a dollar amount because of the formula that Lake County put together, but we asked that they suspend the review of our current submission, so that way we're not locked into that submission, and we will be putting together a separate submission to recoup some of those funds. Also, the LPA funds, when we initially received the first payment on that, we were under the assumption that we could use that money for roads. We can, but it's specifically assigned for the reconstruction of roads. We are working with the IML right now, and the IML is working with other communities to raise the threshold. If you were receiving less than $250,000 as part of the LPA funds, you could use them for any purposes related to roads. If you're receiving more, it had to be for road construction. IML is now working with the IDOT, and they're meeting with the Secretary of IDOT next week on the 25th to raise that threshold to $1 million, which would allow us to use that money as we see fit. A lot of the smaller communities were complaining because they wanted to use that money for things like alleys and curb and gutter, and they were being constrained by what they could do. So hopefully we'll have some positive news on that. Today, myself, Scott Fuller, met with, as well as Pat DePercio, met with Lake County Stormwater Management to discuss their upcoming watershed projects. And one of the positives that came out of that was we found an opportunity for us to secure funding for the engineering study required to begin the mitigation process on the flooding on Cabin. We've seen that flooding occur for the last few years. This will give us an opportunity to secure the necessary funds to begin the engineering study. So we're going to be working on that in short order. Financial and HR transition continues. Lisa has just wrapped up most things with Julie. Her and I are working on things that are state mandated currently on that transition. That will go over to me. Labor negotiations began last week. We had a good discussion with the bargaining unit. They understand our fiscal condition and our situation and have agreed to delay further negotiations potentially to May, which will allow us, May for a new contract to allow us to coincide or sync the contract with our fiscal year, but we will continue discussions in January on the collective bargaining agreement. Property assessment continues. When I look at all those parcels of property, one thing that stands out is it's a great deal of right-of-way rather than parcels that are going to be able to be liquidated if that's what we had, chosen to do. I've had conversation with the village attorney about our potential for a cell tower and lease advisors' interest in a cell tower, potentially over at Public Works. I'm meeting with lease advisors next week, so that's on the radar. We're assessing the fee schedule or the fees right now. That's an ongoing project. I want to present the fee schedule to the board. Watershed projects I told you about. We need to talk in the near future about lead pipe replacement. It's been a concern expressed by Tim Neergarden. He and I have had multiple discussions about it, but we're going to have to begin to take this to the next level because there are some serious costs that lay in front of us, and they're going to be inevitable. We just have to feel how we best approach this, how we're going to phase this program to have the least or the minimal impact at any given one time or fiscal year to the village. I am currently working on several audit items that came back from the auditor. As soon as I put that information that the auditor has submitted to me and that I have researched, I will have discussions with members of the board related to those. And then he should be wrapping up his writing of the audit and submission to Springfield here very shortly. I have a land bank meeting this upcoming week, and I also have a meeting with Total Parking. We're going to be discussing potentially taking the metro station, and rather than it being a manual cash box, which we retrieve money from maybe on a daily basis, depending on what our limitations are, to potentially make that a credit card function through a phone app. And we're going to discuss it, get a feel for it. It's used in a lot of metro stations up and down the Union Pacific North Line. We're going to see if it may, because of the 10% maximum ridership compared to what it was pre-COVID, there may be less interest in making this happen, or it may be, let's get this in now because we're going to see increased activity on Metro. But I'll know more after the discussion on Thursday. And that's all I have at this time, Mr. Mayor, members of the board.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions for Greg?
I don't think, do we really think that we're ready for that in Winthrop Harbor for automated? I mean, how full is that lot and how many people use it and what's the worth in spending a bunch of money on something that we got to maintain too?
Well, it's also, we don't spend the money. They do.
But they get a commission.
Right. They get
Yeah, so it's peanuts we're getting, and now we're going to give away some of it. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I just want to look at it and see the dollar amount on it. I mean, we spend time counting the money. We spend time retrieving the money. I mean, I just want to take and see if there's any type of return on investment on it.
I'll do it for 10%.
Yeah, I just want to look and see what the return on investment is on it.
Gotcha. I was just curious.
Yep. No, I get it.
You've got to research it. You never know. It may be beneficial, it may not. All right. Thank you, Greg. We move on to correspondence.
I have nothing.
All right. Move on to old business. As you know, we tabled this at the last meeting, so Administrator Greg Jackson could do more research. I just need a motion to open for discussion.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Discussion, as you remember, at the last village board meeting, we had this on the agenda to award the contract. In that process, Greg is going to chime in here shortly, but in that process, he contacted our engineers, and our engineer, Baxter Woodman, feels that the bid was higher than it should be, so we're going to go back out to bid and possibly get it done in the spring. Greg, do you have any more information on that?
Well, at the direction of the board from the last meeting, I did call John Ambrose, the CEO of Baxter Woodman, We had a discussion on a number of things, this project being the primary discussion. And having had only 2 bids, which he thought was a bit unusual, he did comment that people or companies were increasing their prices. But we were both in agreement that a 60% increase in doing this job was a pretty high price. I explained that we were able to get an extension on this project till June of 21, the end of the state fiscal year, which allows us the opportunity to complete the 3-month project within the window of the spring. So I spoke to him as well as our engineer, Kurt Bauman, and we've concurred that rebidding the project rather than committing, as Bob pointed out in the last meeting, once we make that commitment, we make it, that approaching it from a second bid process would be the prudent thing to do.
Thank you, Craig. So that's basically what I wanted to bring up under old business is that item, so.
Yeah, I just feel we need to complete this. And I don't know how we're gonna, and I'm sorry I wasn't at that last meeting, but, and I get a numbers game and I get all that, but it's a bridge and it's a main one.
I know.
And you have to replace it and then it becomes a life safety issue. So you can't just think of it as small ball. And I know we crunch money, but when it comes to this certain type of project and you're getting money for it and you've already spent all this money to it, and I understand the bid came in high, but to me, it's something at that point that you got to bite the bullet and either you got to either do something or not do something. And I need to get this done before it's too late. And I get all that, but we can't beat around the bush about it because it becomes a life safety issue, and you can't change life safety to me.
Yeah,
No, I agree, Rob. It's just that under the circumstances, if we can get it in, 125 instead of 158,000, we've saved money. So, but I understand. I mean,
Absolutely.
we got to get it done. I know we-
And with that concern that Trustee Marabella just, he comments on, I made sure that I asked the question of, is this something from a safety perspective that we can go ahead and not risk anything by waiting until the spring on the bid process? And both parties assured me that we were not it did need to be repaired, to Trustee Marabella's point. There's no doubt about it. But we weren't in a catastrophic position at this time, that waiting to the spring would be okay. But to continue off of what Trustee Marabella just said, in the spring where the price comes in, we're gonna have to make the decision to move forward, in my opinion, simply because we've got that $100,000. We've done the engineering study. We wouldn't want to toss that out the window. Our hope is just to see a reduction in some of that required funding.
And from what we were told by Baxter Woman, he felt that the dollar amount would come in lower than 158 as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just saying it's something, and I understand. And I discussed it with Greg and Tim, and I understand that. I just want everybody to realize this is something that we need to do. The money's there. We got to figure out how we're going to do it and accomplish it at some point. And I know it's not catastrophic, but it will become if we don't act now, and it'll be twice as expensive if we wait. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. I don't need a roll call on that, do I, Bob? No, I think so. Just wanted to make sure.
The motion will be withdrawn.
Okay,
It was only for discussion anyway.
exactly. All right. So we move on to new business, committee reports, community development, Trustee Harkett.
Make a motion that we deny the request at 301 Runyard Avenue for the fence code variation.
Second.
Discussion?
So I think, Pat in his summary outlined it pretty well. We've had multiple requests like this for the taller fences and the front yard, and every time we've denied it. This isn't one where there's ever been a suggestion that we should change the code or that the code itself is wrong. I certainly, in the case of this one, I drove over by the property. It's a dead end road. There's, it's a pretty private, secluded spot. They have, other fencing up today. But the 6 foot on the front yard, we've been pretty firm on.
I agree. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I'll ask for a roll call.
Aye.
Levin, Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Motion carried. We move on to finance, trustee Weiss.
Yes, thank you. By the way, I do have a very unstable internet connection because a lot of you are breaking up in between, so
Uh-oh.
Where you
Uh-oh.
I
want?
do too. Excuse me. 20-9 in the amount of $54,857.58.
Second.
Second. All right. Any discussion on the warrant? All right. Roll call, please.
Target,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. I'm glad you made it, Fritz. I'm glad you made it. All right, we move on to fire. Trustee Levin.
I make a motion, we pass the ordinance declaring personal property and surplus and authorizing the sale or disposal thereof one Zodiac in vote.
Second.
All right,
And is that waiving the second reading, please?
Yes.
And the second, is that waiving your, that as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a motion second. Any discussion on that? What condition is that inflatable boat in, Justin?
The inflatable part, excuse me, is okay. There's some welding issues on the back near where the motor is. That's kind of made us take it out of service for this season. It's woefully small for Lake Michigan operations anyway. So really, it's kind of been obsolete for a while anyway. As you all know, we're in search of a new boat at some point, but this will be the vehicle to maybe get some money while it still might be worth a few bucks. And we'll hold that for the next potential purchase.
So this inflatable boat is not being used presently?
No, it's sitting in our station and we pulled it from service this season just because we don't want to take a chance with some of the mounts on the back where the motor is. Our dive master, Eric Zach, said it just doesn't, we're taking a chance if we put it out in the water right now. So we don't want to do that. So it's been out of service for this season.
What do we use in place of it?
Nothing really. Coast Guard,
Coast Guard.
Knock on wood, we have not had any lake incidents in the water this season.
Awesome.
But if we do, we call for the Coast Guard. Lake Forest just got a big one. Waukegan's got a medium-sized one that we could, call down the lake for. But that's about it.
All right, thank you, Justin.
We did apply for an AFG grant a couple years ago on this piece, and there were so many people applying for the AFG grant that they had to prioritize what they thought was necessary equipment, and that included engines, trucks, and turnout gear that superseded our need for a boat as they had categorized it. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right, very good. Any other discussion on that? If not, I'd ask for a roll call.
Target,
Aye.
Levin,
Aye.
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
Whitmore.
Aye.
Motion carried. We move on to public comments. Julie, did anyone submit any questions?
Nobody did.
Oh, all right. So then we move on to unfinished business. I will start, since you're on my screen. I'm going to go with Trustee Marabella first.
All right. So I know I missed a lot lately. I'm sorry. I was on second shift, and we've had some canceled, but we have branch pickup coming starting in October. It's going to be a busy time for the public works. I think we've been keeping up pretty good with what we've had. We've had a few minor bumps in the road, like that's going to happen with the COVID. We're all trying to deal with the COVID. It's strange and unusual time right now. It's all over. Fortunately, I've been working, which I'm glad. A lot of people, some people can't. The nature of my job, I have to be at work. I can't remotely. A bunch of people from our company do. With that being said, that's where that stands. Baseball, I know we've been playing in the harbor. We've had a few little things, but my son's on a team. We've been good. Things are going well. I see people out in the park. I see things happening. I mean, there's more people than I've ever seen around and about in town, which I like. It's been good. I know we've had some other issues come up in town with different things happening, but I think our fire department and police department have been really good on taking care of all that kind of stuff. So I'm just proud to live in Winthrop Harbor because I think we've handled it pretty well with everything that being said that's going on. I think everybody in our community has come together and we've done a pretty good job at it. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Trustee. All right, Trustee McCarthy.
I have nothing.
You have nothing? All right. Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. Trustee Hargit.
I have nothing.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Trustee Levin.
The only thing I have is we finally got the approval for the burn down of 101 Sheridan Road.
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
I'm
Tentative
never
date.
going to go. I'm telling you that right now. I'm never doing this again. We're just going to tear it down. I'm sorry, Justin. I know you need to practice, but I'm not waiting 3 years, 2.5 years for this again. So. Okay, sorry, John.
No, that's okay. The tentative date that they have set up to do their burn down is October 10th. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Trustee Weiss.
Yes, thank you. I read the reports of the department heads and they're doing a great job. I was really impressed with the comments from the community on the police officers and the job they're doing, and also community that is pulled together, that is safe, that is secure. We care about one another, and this is what I hear too. And believe me, it's a different world in Utah right now where I'm at, right? So it's really different, but I am very happy to see that we're getting good reports all the way around from everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Weiss. Trustee Whitmore.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Trustee Marabella stated was, sports are coming to an end. Baseball and softball are coming to an end here soon, and the park has never been busier. We're there almost every night walking, and there's people fishing, there's people at the park playing basketball. So it's been really great to see just how busy and really how everybody's just trying to get out of the house at this time. We did meet last night through Parks and Recreation, trying to set up some future events for the early to mid fall. So hopefully we can get those approved and pushed through. So hopefully we can all have a little bit more community togetherness here before winter hits and we can't be outside anymore.
Thank you, Trustee Whitmore. What I would like to add is, all the departments, the fire, the police, the public works, the parks, even administration, they're working hard to get us through this pandemic, and they're working hard. I mean, these reports, this department head report that was attached to our agenda, it's very impressive. I'm really glad this was started. But the thing that really was an eye opener was the community development. My goodness gracious, the permits that Pat's done in over the last few months is just incredible. May through April, I mean, I just can't believe we've been that busy. He's been that busy. But every department's been working very good. I'm glad for these reports. He's really explained a lot, and it just lets us know as a board how everyone is doing. So, and it's basically all I have, but I want to thank the department heads for these reports. So, Anybody has anything else? I don't think so. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn
So moved from Utah.
from Utah. All right. You have a second?
Second.
Second by Rob Marabella. All right. Roll call, please.
Target.
Aye.
Levin,
Levin?
Marabella,
Aye.
McCarthy,
Aye.
Weiss,
Aye.
and Whitmore.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all.
Good to see everybody. Have a good
folks.
evening.
Good
Bye.
night.
Have a good evening.
Night.